mentality, the invisible force that determines everything. I'm gonna say that again. Mentality, the invisible force that determines everything. Mentality is not just how you think, it's the lens you see life through. It's the blueprint that tells you what your body is to do and what to do when your mind wants to quit. It's not a quote. It's not a hype-ass playlist. It's not a Monday motivation post. It's who you are when everything falls apart, when it's hard, when you're tired, when the spotlight is off. That's when mentality steps up, steps in, and says, we don't fold here. We don't run. We build in the dark. You can't fake it. You can't download it. You got to earn it through reps, reflection, and real pressure. I call that R3. Say that again. You got to earn a mentality. And you're going to earn it through reps, reflection, and real pressure. And here's the truth that most people won't say. Might want to jot this one down. You will never rise higher than the strength of your mentality. Let me say that again. You will never rise higher than the strength of your mentality, because you don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and your mentality is the system. So check your thoughts, check your patterns, check how you talk to yourself when no one's listening. Might want to write this part down. Because the most dangerous thing you can do is want success with a mentality that isn't built to handle it. Say that again. The most dangerous thing you can do is want success with a mentality that isn't built to handle it. That's the real work. That's what separates you. And that's why you're here. Hope none of that went over your head. Your mentality is what determines every decision in your life. How you look at it, how you perceive it, your point of view, how you feel in the moment of action or reaction. Your mentality is what defines you. Who are you in the midst of adversity? You gonna go whine and cry in the corner, or you gonna stand up, poke your chest out, raise your head up, and handle that shit? Or are you gonna hold your head down, walk with slow dragging steps, hoping somebody gonna come and pat you on the back and tell you everything gonna be all right? Because truth of the matter is, it may not be. But the reality of the matter is, time keep ticking, sun keep rising, moon keep showing up, day must go on. Whether you in your feelings or out your feelings, time ain't waiting on no man. So your mentality on how you respond, how you react, is an invisible force that determines everything. Your mentality. Can't want results, can't want certain finances, can't want a certain life if your mentality don't align. And as I said, the worst thing you can do, the most dangerous thing you can do, is want success with a mentality that isn't built to handle it. You know, when you get tired of eating the same shit, when you don't want to get up in the morning and work out, when your friends ask you for drinks and you give the fuck in, when you can't stop eating your kids' snacks because there's no discipline, that's the mentality. They ain't even excuses. So if you ain't where you want to be, check your mentality. Ask yourself, is it built for the success that you want? Is your mentality strong enough to go through the process? Is your mentality strong enough to endure what the process is bringing? Because again, it's the invisible force. Let's break that down. Invisible, what you can't see. Force means power, movement, strength, something that you can't see is so strong that the result of it determines everything. So check your mentality. Check yourself at the door, in the mirror, at the thought of, and ask yourself, are you built for what you want to achieve? Or is it just a wish, just a want? Or is it a necessity? There's a big difference. Everybody wants some shit. Everybody want to go places, want to make a lot of money, want a better life, want a better body. But is it necessary? Not really. But the bigger question is it necessary to you? Is your success necessary to you? Is your goals necessary to you? Or is it just a want? And if you're confused on what it is, let me help you out. When it comes to being disciplined on your goals, and that little urge, that little weakness breaks in and you give in, that goal was a want. It wasn't a necessity. That was something that you wanted. It's a desire. But a necessity is something that you must have by any means necessary. I'm willing to do and go through whatever the hell it is that I got to in order to get there. That's a necessity. So ask yourself, is your goals a necessity or is it a want? And is your mentality built to handle the success? I don't know who need to hear that. I don't know who that was for. I don't know how deep it was. I don't know what bone it hit. But let me add on to that. The opportunity of a lifetime got to be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. Let me paraphrase that. Act now. Not later, not tomorrow, not I'm going to start on Monday. Make the decision and act now. Not everything in a man's life is destined. He who overcomes adversity stands upright, prosperous, and defined. Say that again. Not everything in a man or woman life is destined. He or she who overcomes adversity, you know, the hard shit, life. The person that overcomes adversity stands upright, prosperous, and defined. Again, that's a quote me and one of my late best friends wrote together, and I got that. We both have it on our shoulder. Well, just me at this point. But it's all about defining who you are, what you want to be, where you want to go. The growth in the process. I had to tell somebody this yesterday. You got to fall in love with the process, not the results. Fall in love with who you becoming. Last year, the mentality that you wasn't the same. You in a better place now than you was last year, health-wise and mental-wise. So don't be so concerned and so tied up and so gung-ho on the end result. Fall in love with the process, who you becoming, the small wins, because those small wins add up. And as they keep adding it, they get to the end, and that ends up being the result. So fall in love with the small wins. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with who you becoming. Fall in love with the downs. Fall in love with the ups, because that's what makes you and defines you. Every time you fall down, you get back up, that's another opportunity to be great. That's another opportunity to learn. That's another opportunity to bounce back. So your mentality is everything. How you see things, half full, half empty, that's a mentality. And I say it before, I'm gonna keep saying it. I believe in every single one of y'all. I feel like everybody has what they need and has what it takes to get to that next level. You've already proved it in certain areas and aspects of your life. But think about the mentality that you had while you achieving certain stuff. The mentality that you had when you got your raise, the mentality that you had raising your kids, the mentality that you have about anything that you're successful at in life. It's different. But with that said, hold your head up, poke your chest out, and handle that shit. Hello. Peace out.